let's introduce our players. In the upper right-hand corner of the map, here on Overgrowth, we have our blue Zerg player from StarTale. He played in Pro League just a few hours ago. He is Curious. He's not been unbeatable this season by any stretch of the imagination. He has lost matches to... He lost when he played against Red Bloods. He lost when he played against Gravity. But he did make up for all of that when he all-killed Con-G Sports. Oh no, did he all-kill Con-G Sports? No, he all-killed Vega Squadron. Yes, that was it. In the round of 8. After a live dropped game number 1. In the lower left-hand corner, our red Terran player from Cascade. It's Strelok. And this guy's been, he hasn't played for Cascade in the group stages. He just joined the team at the start of the playoffs. During the group stages, he was a part of Alien Invasion, a team which was currently making a deep run through the RSTL, and he actually took his team all the way to 2nd place in the RSTL, and that was Alien Invasion. And before joining Cascade, unfortunately, yet to win a match in the... oh no, did he win one? I don't think he's actually yet to win a match in the SC2ITL. So yeah, exciting times as Strelok going to start up a gas here, and the barracks on the way as well. It's just a Reaper opening as we would pretty much expect here in this TVZ. There's a hatchery going to come down on the low ground to get started, and yeah, so there's a hatchery on the way down, and Curious just going to be opening with a very standard TVZ build. Nothing too crazy about this just yet, as we're waiting to see when he's going to pop that pool down, and whether, most importantly, if he's going to take a gas or not, and see how exactly he's going to want to open here in this game. So a couple of overlords moving across the map, again into positions where they're going to be able to scout, and SCV is going to be able to move across here as well, and do a little bit more scouting to see what's up, see what's happening, and to try and get a little bit more information about what exactly his opponent's up to. Again, one of the most important things he's going to be able to see is this extractor coming down for Curious, and he'll know that, okay, well, I've got this kind of amount of time before I've got to be kind of heading back home with my Reaper. So that's kind of nice information for Strelok to gain here early on. And the most important thing about seeing this with an SCV instead of waiting for the Reaper is it means your Reaper doesn't have to commit all this way into the base. It can just, you don't have to do that with the Reaper. You can spend more time with the Reaper just picking off drones, trying to do a little bit of damage and that. And, if you never end up going towards the gas, it doesn't matter because you've already spotted it with the SCV. So Strelok sees what's up, and also important just to check it's not a pool first, because then he'd have to leave his Reaper at home so as not to get his command center cancelled. And it obviously wasn't a pool first, so this Reaper's just going to come across the map, hop up into the main base here, and Strelok is going to get started with a little bit of harassment to start off the Season 3 Grand Finals of the SC2 Improved Team League. So these Segler's taking a couple of shots, and Reaper needs to be a little bit careful, doesn't want to do anything too crazy here, and we'll just jump back down and keep moving around, keep looking for anything and everything that he can get done. And he's already picked off one Zerglin already, and if he could pick off another one or so, that'd be nice, but not essential. It's back at home, a factory on the way down for him, and this reactor on the barracks is making a couple of Marines, which are actually still rallied across the map, which I believe is from the initial Reaper rally. Whether he actually wants them Marines crossing the map or not is a different question. So yeah, we'll see here very soon. As Strelok, last time he played, he did actually play a very aggressive opening, Hellbat and Marine push with a couple of medevacs, so a single medevac as well. And we'll see if something similar to that will happen here, as Curious a little bit sloppy with this Overlord, does take a lot of damage on it, and should keep moving it away, because I actually think these Marines might just get in range. Okay, maybe not quite, but he keeps this Overlord alive for now, and well, he's actually got a couple of Marines coming around this side, so he actually might lose this Overlord. So Curious a little bit sloppy here, as Strelok is able to see this right now, and Curious will lose this Overlord then. And a little bit of a shame at the start as the Reaper still moving around in this main base. We have gas continuing to mine here from Curious, and that's something Strelok will be able to pick up on. So the question is, what is Curious going to try and do with that gas? The Reaper does go down here, but gets the scout, and well, there's the lair coming down for Curious, so that's what he wanted to do. Now, is Strelok going to be able to pick up on this? It's going to be kind of hard having lost that Reaper, but at the same time he's got to start asking himself as well, what kind of things could be coming at me with that very quick gas that he's continued to mine as well. He hasn't just pulled out, he's kept on mining it. Reactor coming back onto the barracks, and this factory going onto the tech lab, so probably going to see some tanks started up here. Of course, Strelok does like to play mech, so not really much of a surprise to see him going into tanks very early on instead of keeping the tech lab on the barracks to start up Stimpack. We're expecting to see him play mech here, so no real surprise there, as there's over 60% of the way done now for Curious, and we'll be getting ready to continue, and we'll be getting ready to make something with this in the near future. As a bit of the nest comes down, And these queens are not actually going to be enough to stop these Hellions from making their way into the main base. So Curious is going to have to react to this. And going to have to start pulling his drones away. But they're all clumped up. And there's 4 workers killed already. And they're still clumped up to take him up to 6 kills. And a couple more workers going down. That's 9 kills, 13 kills. Curious taking so much damage here. 16 kills. And Curious has lost a lot of workers at the start of this game. Now these Hellions will end up going down here. The Lings popping out as well. But Curious a little bit too greedy then. He didn't really have any Zerglings and he only had the Queens to rely on. And that's 16 workers he's just lost, and that's 16 workers he'd definitely rather have out on the map right now. Baneonet's about to finish up for him, so what was his plan with this lair? A lair which has been spotted by StarTale now, of course, with them Hellions coming in there and doing that damage. They were able to scout the lair in the long run. It's going to be a fast Spire coming in for Curious. So Curious going into the Spire here, going to rush out these Mutalisks. StarTale adding on a couple more factories. His starport on the way down now as well, and he will probably be looking here in the near future to, probably head into some Vikings, and with the armory on the way, add on a 4-2 as well as Curious. We'll probably want to look towards kind of third base fairly soon, and probably look to start his upgrades once he gets up to them 3 bases as well. So a few Zerglings moving across the map here for Curious. Just going to take the watchtower, and he's got good map control right now. He also has an overlord over at this third base, which can start creeping this up thanks to the fact that he has this early lair. So that's going to get creeped up nice and quickly. Looks to the StarTale probably with the position of this command center though, may very well be thinking of just floating out into this location and taking that as his third base. So yeah, Curious a little bit blind right now, doesn't really know that StarTale is going for mech, or doesn't have any idea about that at all. His Spire is about to finish up. There's a few Zerglings moving across the map. 7 of them in total. Again, just going to see what they can do at the front. And they will see a couple of tanks here maybe if they do run forward. And that may be enough to kind of start ticking them off. Of course, it's not, well, it's not, I was going to say it's not that important that he doesn't know it's mech yet because he's not started upgrades. But of course, he's going to want to make sure he has enough roaches out, etc. if that's what he wants to go for. He will of course see it with the Mutalisks here when they do come in towards the main base in the next minute or so. They are started up in the production tab, 8 of them in total as StarTale lifts his third command center. He's going to start moving it over here, and this is a little bit worrying for me because again he's going to be stretched rather thinly on 3 bases against this Mutalisk harass. So these Mutalisks with the opportunity to really get some damage done here, as there is a couple of turrets up in the mineral lines. So again, they may not be able to dive straight into the mineral lines, but what they will be able to do is kind of just move around these bases and maybe try and pick off a SC2ITL at the edges. As third base spotted by Curious, he knows where that is now. Overlord killed off over here by the Viking as well. So that getting cleaned up, and Curious is getting a little bit of damage onto this base as he now just see a Hellbat. He sees a 4 as well, and he now should know that this is a mech play as these mutants are starting to come forwards here. And we'll fly over a few Marines and a Viking to begin with, which isn't kind of the best to start. Sees the 4 as well, and the Hellbats again. And again, should have a pretty good idea here in a couple of moments that, well, he should have a pretty good idea right now. But this is mech, because he's actually going to try and go after this 4. Nothing to really repair it, and realising that might not be the best of ideas, a little bit risky. So comes back in towards the main base. The 4 just popping out, but StarTale not turning around with it just yet. Curious trying to get a couple more workers, but the mines behind the refinery pick off a big clump of those mutas immediately here, and Curious has gone into an infestation pit, and he is going to look to try and probably get into some swarm hosts here fairly quickly. I imagine that's going to be his main game plan then for this game. And well, these first 4 mutas still just flying around here as missile attacks comes down for Curious as well. So going to be heading into these roaches. There is that Enduring Locust coming in here as well, so pretty much getting into what we'd expect him to for this game against the meching Terran player, StarTale. StarTale, of course, fairly nicely set up on his third base right now. Quite far ahead in supply because he did kill off a lot of workers earlier. Sensor Tower killed off here. And little pickoffs like these are nice for Curious, although not if he loses a couple of Mutalisks like that. But little pickoffs like that are nice for him, little things he can do just to keep his opponent annoyed, keep him on the back foot while he expands, while he gets up his swarm host count. StarTale already going into a Raven here and looking to try and start getting up into this kind of late game composition of kind of mech Sky Terran. A few Zerglings going to run in. Oh, maybe not them. We look to try to get into the natural there. In the end, they do get hit by a mine, and a few of them survive. This barracks is going to go down. That's slightly annoying, but not the end of the world. The barracks will have to be rebuilt here if he wants to add on more production, factories, etc. And the swarm hosts, again, still in production here. Only the first few. 7 in total, I think, so far. As again, a few Lings just sitting around, ready to move into this third base for a counterattack. And as this sensor tower comes back up as well to give Curious StarTale a little bit of a better vision of any kind of attacks coming in here. So, well, a few Mutalisks do begin to come into the sensor tower range, and we'll see if StarTale begins moving his forwards towards those. This Muta is actually sitting a little bit AFK right now, as again Curious just pushing his creep spread through the middle of the map and moving towards this gold base as well. Could probably take that fairly soon if he would like to. He's going to move his swarm hosts forward and burrow them onto the creeps there and start sending waves of these forward towards the tanks and Hellbats and just the general army of our Pro-Terran players. Curious turns around with these mutas a little bit too late though and loses a bunch of them once again. Finds a couple of SCVs here, which is nice, but yeah, Locusts begin to move across the map and begin to encroach on the Terran's bases. During Locust has finished up, and Curious is banking a bit of money right now, not really spending it on too much. A few more swarm hosts moving forward now to join their brothers. There's a single Hellion here is looking as though it might be about to just scout out this 4th base. I mean, it's not like StarTale's going to be surprised to see the 4th base. Just nice to know that it is there, and that his opponent has got that up and running. A couple of things chasing this Hellion then, as it's going to run into a Kreen as well. And that Hellion does go down. We're still kind of flying around. They're going to come down this right-hand side of the map. A single Widowmine moving over to this right-hand side as well. As a scan comes into the main base, he sees no... he sees a second Spire, which is maybe a little bit of a giveaway here. And he has to be a little bit careful about that, because if Curious decides to try and go into... I guess what he's going to try and do is go into double flyer upgrades, as a man gets another Mutalisk here. Getting the flyer upgrades to try and deal with the incoming Ravens, etc. of his opponent. But right now, we have this Terran army moving forward, and the first wave of Locusts get cleaned up without too much difficulty. Unsieging now, StarTale is going to continue moving forwards. And the next wave of Locusts are about to pop out, but is it going to be in time, and is it even going to be enough? More swarmers being made here, some Zerglings as well, going to try and come in from behind, and they do connect onto these tanks, and the tanks do more friendly fire than the Zerglings did. But of course that was kind of the point of the Zerglings. There's more Zerglings being made here. Curious kind of just desperate to get anything out which he can. And with his creep spread, he will see this army advance on the map. He knows where it is. SCV's pulled with this, so StarTale being aggressive here, and let's see if he can get anything done. As these swarm hosts do burrow, and they're going to be able to move forward once again with this wave of Locusts. And is it going to be enough here? Another PGD kind of needs to come down, but he doesn't quite have the energy for it just yet. And there's a few SCVs getting picked off to begin with, as once again, now we base over to the right hand side getting picked off here, and StarTale is going to sit on this creep for a little while longer. More and more waves of Locusts will keep coming forward here. Curious probably wants to move these swarm hosts forward as well. He's got a lot of Zerglings which he's going to run in with right now, and he's going to try and do whatever he can, and well, StarTale just cleans it up pretty easily here. No real worries about that one. And I don't know what's happening with my PC, for some reason slowing down the game. Another wave of Locusts spawns, and again they'll kill off a couple of Hellbats, but the tanks siege, and immediately these Locusts get ripped to shreds without too much of an issue. And Curious going to burrow his swarm host again here in a couple of seconds. Fours continuing to move forwards here on this creep. And Curious loses a queen. Another creep tumor killed off, and well, Curious is starting to make his way onto this natural expansion of his opponent now, as these Locusts just aren't killing anything at all. The problem for Curious is he's just not got a critical number of anything. He's making more Zerglings. He's got so much money in the bank. I guess he just doesn't want to make more swarm hosts. He's got so much money, he's just not spending. He's not maxed out either. And StarTale will just sit here on the script, continue to clear up the wave after wave of Locusts. And it looks as though 17 swarm hosts just is not enough right now, as this natural expansion about to go down. Another wave of Zerglings about to come forwards here into this army. And we'll see what's going to happen with this here very shortly, as another wave of Locusts comes forward, and we'll see if this is going to be the time. Yes, it is. Curious comes forward. You've even got some Banelings mixed in here as well. They're going to connect on a couple of fours and stuff, but again, not really doing anything too important, as StarTale just unsieges once more and continues to push forward here. And behind all of this, he's establishing a 4th base for himself. There's another wave of Locusts again moving forward, but kind of curious. I mean, if it hasn't worked the first 10 times, what's going to make it work now? I mean, it's not like he's really even wearing down StarTale's army. This swarm is just on a high enough number, and 22 mutas are coming out, so he's just going to try and kill the 4s. I mean, this is a big move. If he can kill the 4s, and only the 4s, then he can clean up the rest with the Mutalisks. Even if he just gets a lot of damage on the 4s, that could be all he needs. As moving forward, he just pick off 3 of them, so the anti-air is starting to dissipate here for StarTale. And these mutas are beginning to spawn out. They're all clumping up over towards where the 3rd base used to be before StarTale killed it off here. There's of course a bunch of Vikings in the sky as well, and of course has to be careful of the potential of some Seeker missiles from the Ravens, as these mutas now going to come over to the left hand side. So Curious, he has got +2/+1 on these Mutalisks. Is it going to be enough here to do enough damage to kind of justify the damage Strelok has already done? The supplies are even, and Curious is re-expanding here pretty quickly. But again, whatever he loses, he's not going to be able to rebuild very quick at all. As the fours get a couple of huge shots off, and immediately here the mutants are going to have to retreat, and clumping them up just a little bit too much there. Curious forced to retreat, and coming down the right hand side with some locusts, they're not going to find anything to pick off. There's another wave of locusts coming forward now, and Strelok going to move out here once again, pulls a few more SCVs, and gets ready for round number 2. Moving forward here with these tanks and fours and SCVs and a Hellion or two, and of course the Vikings and Ravens leading the charge. Creep already getting cleared up here as Curious repositions his Swarm, who's going to come in, and at the same time going to try and attack this third base with these mirrors, which could force the Terran player to move back. And he will see this coming in here. A couple of Vikings going to get targeted down, so finally getting some damage done, something going Curious's way. Still has to be careful of the 4 shots though. Doesn't want to get too clumped up, and he is going to head in towards the main base. Has to be careful in case his mind's around, but he has no real other option, as he's going to come over a 4 here, and will pick that off on his way. And will he pick off this 4? Whoa, another big clump of Mutalisks picked off and flying through a turret. More and more Mutants will die. Curious just going to rebuild these though, so I mean, oh no, more turrets, and Curious just continues to lose Mutalisks right now. And what was 22 Mutalisks before is all of a sudden 7. And Curious again looking like he's in a little bit of trouble coming up here, and he will take this watchtower and continue moving forward. Some Zerglings moving forward here as well, and Swarmhoods do send out another wave of Locusts, but again, is it going to be enough? There's just so many tanks right now for Strelok, and I mean, he's spending his money again here on more Mutalisks, but there's just so many fours in the army. Vikings too just add on so much DPS to this. And Strelok going to move forward in towards this natural expansion once again. Locusts again moving across the map and not really achieving anything. The natural's going to fall here. Strelok will siege, and everything here will just die in just a matter of seconds. All of the drones obliterated as this wave of Locusts comes forward, but not really able to do anything. And 3 PDDs in position as well, so even if they got close enough, them Locusts wouldn't have been able to do anything here. There's some more Mules getting picked off as they pass through from the main base. Some more SCVs being killed off here, so Curious making a little bit of a game out of this. He's stopping the economy of Strelok and forcing this third base to lift up. Of course, the main problem for him is he's got a lot of his SC drones trapped in his main base, which he can't use, and which he's about to lose. That's going to be 20 drones he loses for himself. And he's also going to lose all his tech, which he'll have to rebuild here as well. Both of these command centers are going to go down. And I mean, again, that's a nice pick off for Curious. Going to take this watchtower as well. But the real question is he ever going to be able to just get enough to actually fight this? A single Swarmers does get pulled back in time there. As again, these PGGs just helping the tanks take down everything without too much of an issue. And as this army comes into the main base, Curious will begin to lose his tech. He'll begin to lose his hive, his spawning pool, and everything else. And the Vikings moving forward, the Overlords are going to start getting cleaned up. And again, not really looking too great here for Curious, but there's still an opportunity. I mean, this army is essentially trapped in the main base. It will have to come down this ramp at some point if it wants to get out. So the Locusts may have a little bit of a field day then, as these mutants are finally going to turn around from the damage they've done on the Terran base. And, well, surprised here. Okay, he's going to turn around. He's going to pick off this Viking now. There's another wave of Locusts coming forward here, going to try and see what they can get done, but again, it's probably not going to be all too much, as all these drones in the corner are about to go down. All the Overlords going down as well. Curious not really supply capped right now as he's restarting his spawning pool. Surprised he took so long to actually restart all of his tech. I mean, he could have already rebuilt the lair and, you know, the infestation pit, etc. already, or spire, whatever he wanted to rebuild. SCV's coming over here, trying to set up some turrets to defend this third base once again, but gets turned around. It was the third base, the command center is the one from the main base here. So has to be kind of careful if he loses this. Wouldn't be so great. He's going to fly forward. He's going to pick off these Ravens. He's going to go for the fours as well. Strelok not really paying attention, and these mutants on the counter-attack will continue to do so much damage. Here's another 4 coming in. Curious will disengage now. Going to try and pick off a couple more tanks perhaps. As again, it's going to be a little while here, but well, quite a long time before we can get another spire up and running and make more Mutalisks, because he's taken so long to rebuild his spawning pool here initially. As slowly but surely it is possible for Strelok to come out of this base, and now will slowly move his way towards this third base. And this one was going to have to burrow here once again. These tanks, these fours, moving forward, and another wave of PGDs come down, and some reinforcements actually coming up the left-hand side of the map, where the Mutalisks are on. Some Zerglings maybe going to try and move across the map and counter-attack. There's the Mutalisks. And again, though, I just don't really feel like it's going to be enough to actually clean everything up here. As, well, over to the left-hand side, the Mutas and Zerglings are going to clean up these fours, which is something at least. as these locusts moving forward here. The swarm hosts have to back off again. PGTs doing their job. A lair on the way for Curious again. He's going to need to rebuild another spawn pool because that's stuck at this third base. Lings and Muters going to launch a counter-attack once again. Try and clean up more reinforcements. Has to be careful of these mines coming in, however. As Strollock, I mean, he still is on 2 bases. And he's got a third base trying to move over into position. And he's got a few orbitals as well. So, well, Curious starts up a few overlords here. And what's he going to begin? Once this lair has finished, another spire, or is he going to go infestation pit, or what's he going to try to go for? Spawn pool's about to go down, so now he has to build another one of those. As another wave of locusts comes forward, he might actually start picking off a couple of tanks. He gets a tank, and finally Curious seems to do some damage to this army as the Broodling nearly picks off another tank. The swarm hosts though aren't actually ready to go with the next set of locusts, and Strelok's going to come right on top of them here. I know this is not looking good at all for Curious. He's losing his swarm host, and with the swarm host gone, well, I think that might have been his last one of his last chances in this game. Everything that was on the counterattack's been cleaned up, and Curious is losing overlords and muters and all sorts to these Vikings. There's another siege from these tanks, and Strelok just continues pushing forward here. He is still maxed out against the 70 supply of Curious, and he types out GG. Strelok takes game number 1 here in our best of 7 all-kill series, and Cascade get off to the start they were hoping for. Taking down Curious, taking down Blue Zerg player from StarTale. It's Pet. In the upper left hand corner, it's going to be our Red Terran player from Cascade. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Strelok. So here we are in game number 2. Another TVZ here, and probably expecting to see much more of the same from Strelok. Another round of mech, most likely. We'll see what Pet has to say about that, though, as I'm sure this time he's not going to let a bunch of Hellions get into his main base and kill off a bunch of stuff, kill off a bunch of drones super early on. Again, guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Barracks Gas once again coming up here for Strelok. Now, Pet has played his fair share of matches in the SC2ITL. He did pick up an all-kill for himself against Team Darkstar in the regular season in the group stages. And yeah, so quite interested to see Pet come out here because, of course, you know, StarTale with a bunch of great players on their team. Life, Alive, Hack. We've seen a lot of them free throughout the team league. So we're not going to see at least one of those today. For us as a guess, we're probably definitely going to see Life, but then it's between Hack or Alive who they send out. So yeah, awesome stuff. How's everyone in the chat doing then, guys? Thank you, Wardy from Zeph. No problem. I don't actually know what I did, but oh well. Reaper on the way here to start things off for Strelok, and this Reaper's going to head up to the upper right-hand corner here, as the SCV heads down to the south side. So, well, I mean, Reaper's going to be able, obviously the SCV here, going to see very shortly that the Zerg player in the bottom side of the map, and once he sees that, he'll be able to send that Reaper down to the bottom side instead, and already starting to rally that over there. So Reaper on the way, and I'm expecting to see just the same from Strelok as last game, and he is already putting just a single Reaper out, putting his command center down, and starting up his reactor over here, as he's going to pull out another SCV down to the low ground, just going to start up his depot down here then. As again, this Reaper coming across the map. This SCV in the main base again, just scouting around. He does see this gas taken for Pet, and he is beginning to pull out of gas with one worker. And there's a second worker out, and there's a... he's going to leave one worker in then, as this Reaper does come in now, and I'm already starting to pull his drones back here. Zerglings pop. This will be able to help turn this Reaper away for now at the start of this game. And Reaper comes down to the low ground, and we'll actually find a drone down here, but should be able to make it into an extractor in time. And again, keeping it alive. And the Queens will be out here very shortly to kind of shut this down, as Reaper kind of getting chased away a little bit. And we're going to lose a single Zergling, but here comes the Queen. And with that, again, this Reaper will get turned around. Second Zergling goes down, a little bit unfortunate there, but not too much of an issue, as Pet starts a Rotron very early in this game. Wow, so if Reworker's still on gas, maybe he will decide to go for something very aggressive here, something very try and attack very early on in the game. Some kind of Ling Rotron in potentially. Again, it's only off of a single gas, and I guess he doesn't actually have that much gas to build roaches with right now, so it could very well just be defensive roaches right at the start here before taking a third base, instead of anything else. But let's wait and see. As he's making a lot more Zerglings, so starting to look as though it will just be this attack. As they're coming into the main base here, this Reaper going to try and scout, and he's just going to get turned away. He sees the gas still mining, so again he's got to ask himself what is happening, what are you still mining this gas for? Back at home, just Depot's coming up in his wall right now, a couple of Marines down and Hellions on the way. He will be able to go straight into a tank if he feels like that is the right decision. And he's making a couple more Hellions here first of all though. As they're going to start to come across the map. That Reaper getting caught out on the map for a little bit too long. And as these Zerglings cross the map, a few Roaches on the way as well. And a little bit weird though, it's not your kind of standard build, and Pet also a little bit supply blocked. As he's going to try and hit this front door, I imagine, in the next couple of moments. This Barracks is not going to be able to land in time, and only 2 Hellions right now. Well, there's Hellions 3 and 4, and they will come in to try and help out here, as it's going to be a question of can Pet get us around, and he catches one of these Hellions. A couple more Hellions on the way. Going to leave some links to the right hand side, send some over towards the mineral line, and we'll start to pick off a few workers here. That's 3 workers already gone, and only 3 workers for a bunch of Zerglings. There's now some Roaches starting to come across the map, and another wave of Zerglings will be soon to follow this as well. As an armory on the way will suggest that our Strelok wants to start making these Hellions into Hellbats as well, which will help him out defensively, and he is also at the same time moving across the map here, so has to be a little bit careful, does Pet, not to end up as Curious did, with a bunch of roasted drones. He's about to see these Hellions, and he can turn and fight with a couple of his Roaches, and that should be enough for him here. So a couple of Roaches and Zerglings going to immediately start hitting these Hellions, as there's not really anything here at all for Strelok, and he's pulling SCVs straight away here to deal with this attack at the front, and Pet's going to have to target down this bunker. He's actually just going to go for the SCVs behind us, because with the repair he's not going to be able to actually kill it off. So this is damage being done here, as Hellions are coming back to try and help out, but there's not enough SCVs anymore, and Pet will break his way through into the natural base here, and he will be able to start taking down a couple more SCVs. Hellions turn away, realizing they can't fight up there into the Roaches. Armory is finished. There's a tank finished up here as well. There's okay, we're going to actually see this Depot going down, and some SC and some Zerglings are going to get onto this tank, as Roaches going to make their way through as well. This Depot misplaced, as these Roaches continue to take damage here. More Zerglings coming forward as well. How much damage can get done here before this goes down? The friendly fire from this tank is huge. 18 workers killed so far, and it's going to keep on rising. The tank will also fall, but there's nothing left to defend, and Strelok has been caught off guard by this all-in, and it looks as though Pet is going to be able to force the GG, and he pulls it back. And after a pretty long game number 1, which went over 30 minutes, Pet pulls it back just like that and puts it to a 1-1 scoreline straight away. So 1-1 between Cascade and StarTale, all tied up. And hey, StarTale. So Complain versus Pet in Game 3 of this Best of 7 Grand Finals. Before we get into this, a very quick few shoutouts to Lovermind, Voctor Gaming, This Is Foster, Feo88, and Ufan Forever for hitting that follow button. Who is everyone cheering for today? Starfreaks cheering for StarTale, as well as Aki and me, Roddy, Demargo from Hellhound, and also saying life going to just kill whatever's left though. And Promise Pain saying life/StarTale. And Voctor saying he's all about Cascade doing well enough for life to come out and dominate as well. Well, it would be nice to see a little bit of life, wouldn't it? Well, guys, let's introduce our 2 players here as we get into game number 3. Are you ready? This is the grand finals of the 3rd season of the SC2 Team League, and man, this is only getting, we're only getting started, because for 2015 season 4 is going to be on the way. We've got a €2,000 prize pool confirmed. We've got over €500 of products. And that's just in the 1st division. Season 4 of the SC2 Team League is going to be absolutely amazing. Guys, let's introduce our players in the lower left-hand corner of the map. It's that heel Zerg player from StarTale. It's Pet. And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner. From Cascade, it is Complain. Interestingly enough, Complain did play against StarTale the last time they played, when they played in the group stages. And they played on this map. He played against Life on this map. And he spawned in this exact position, and Life spawned in this exact position. Of course, here, this is not Life, this is Pet. But Pet opening up here with Hatchery first, followed by Gas. And a pool very soon afterwards, so maybe could go for something a little bit aggressive here. I think Life, back then, he went for a Bane and Bust. Caught Complain a little bit off guard. And took the game without too much of an issue. Hey Andrew, how's it going? Again, hello everyone in the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for deciding to join us here today for the grand finals of our team league. Command Center on the way here for Complain to follow up this. It's actually just been a gasless expand, so it's a gasless expand here from Complain. And again, this is something he likes to do, and you know, this is what he was doing the last time we saw him playing the SC2ITL. He was using this quite a lot, and I remember I didn't really like how it played out, because he only gets a couple of Hellions. It kind of hurts him in terms of scouting. He's actually going 3 command centers here straight away. Wow, so this isn't actually what he was doing. He was taking gas after the casters expand, but this time taking a 3rd command center completely gasless, just playing a very greedy opening here. Going to try and get away with some greed in the start of this game to get himself enough of an advantage to maybe try and take down Pet. Pet, knowing his opponent's in the upper left corner, sending some Zerglings up in that direction already to get started here. So Pet coming up to this upper left hand corner of the map with these Zerglings, and we'll be able to attack in here and try and see what is going on. So Zerglings come to the front, they see their Marines, and you'll see 3 Marines, so immediately he's going to think, well, I know that barracks has been up for a while, and I mean, he kind of knows the barracks has been up for a while, and he sees the timing of the gas as well with this overload, so, I mean, altogether with all of this information, he should be able to piece together that this is probably some kind of fast 3cc player. Pause coming in here very quickly for Complain, just a hotkey problem, so we should be back into this in just a couple of moments, shouldn't take too long at all, and hopefully we will be back into this in a few moments' time. This is the 3rd game right now of the 3rd season of the SC2 Improved Team League Grand Finals. Cascade versus StarTale. They met in the group stages. StarTale won 4 games to 3. Cascade were runners-up in Season 1, where they ended up getting all killed by My Insanity Serral in the finals. They didn't make it to the playoffs in Season 2, unfortunately. They were just a couple of they were a couple of points on map score away from making that Season 2 playoff performance showing, I should say. Of course, this is StarTale's first season in the Team League, and doing none other than what we would expect of them, making it all the way to the finals without too much of an issue at all. So, Zerglings, speed kicks in for them, he's going to be able to pick off this SCV without too much of an issue. This overlord is still just positioned over here. If he moved forward just a little bit, he would confirm that 3rd command center, although I'm pretty sure he's probably just assuming that anyway. He's moving up this ramp, bunker in place, and he will have to turn around with these Zerglings, as a lair is on the way from him. So again, for the 2nd time today, we have a Zerg player from StarTale going for a fairly quick lair, and without a Rotoron or anything being up already, have to imagine there's probably going to be another attempt at a quick Spire. But I honestly don't know how much I like this against kind of what, well, I think it's kind of a bit crap, honestly, against what Complain is doing, to put it bluntly. Because Complain's open 3 orbital commands. He's gone straight into some Marines after this, so he's going to have a lot of anti-air, he's going to have a lot of economy, he's going to have nice early upgrades as well. He's going to be in a great position. All he needs to do is defend the Mutalisks, not take any damage, and he should be alright. He'll take an upgrade lead, he'll take probably a lead in economy, because Pet's 3rd base is going to be pretty late coming down here, starting to spread his creep over in this direction, so that you can get that down soon, and have Queens in position to defend it as well. And just a little bit of a slow game now as the starport gets added on. Stimpack on the way, expecting the starport to get a react on, and a couple of medivacs to come out to line up in time with a little bit of a push, I guess, just Stimpack finishing or combat shields finishing perhaps, because there's no upgrades just yet still from Complain, no engineering base either. As these first 2 Hellions going to try and get into the main base to scout, and letting these Hellions get the scout of the Spire and the lair. It's a little bit of a shame, because now he knows what he's up against. Queen picks off that Hellion, and Pet scouted here. His plan has been found out, and Complain now knows what is up. Hello XCF Xcora, how are you doing? Mine hit going off there, picking off a few Zerglings. Again, guys, how are you all doing in the chat? Who is everyone cheering for today? I asked before, and a lot of you guys were in favour of StarTale. I know before, a lot earlier on, there was a lot of guys going in for cheering on Cascade. So, again, let us know how you're all doing. Let us know who you're cheering for throughout the series. First few Mutalisks coming out here, then for Pet. And they're going to head across the map and try and get some damage done, I imagine. But with turrets already coming down in each of these mineral lines, Complain is going to be well prepared to deflect these. And again, he's not going to rush to take this, to land this for base until he knows he's got plenty of army to be able to deal with it. Upgrades are going to be on the way very shortly here for Pet, as he does add on his evolution chambers. Very delayed 1-1 for Complain though, so while he will still be at an upgrade lead, it's not going to be as large of an upgrade lead as you might expect a Terran player to have when playing against a 2-based Mutalisk opening. As Pet does begin now to move across the map with these first few Mutalisks, we'll see what sort of damage he can do. Only 7 of them for now, plus 1 flyer attacks on the way to help them out a little bit. 1-1 again on the way for our Terran player, and combat shields as well. And straight away, nice pick off here. Picks off a couple of SCVs, so already doing a little bit with these meters, but gets caught by a turret there. and may very well get cornered a little bit in this mineral line. And we'll actually now have to come out of this because he's going to actually get chased down. Some SCVs going down. He's up to 5 SCV kills so far. And we'll just hide these mutants in the top left-hand corner, or we'll actually keep moving them around and come around towards the natural now. Unlikely that he's going to get too much more damage done. Maybe a couple more SCVs can be picked off. But that should be about it. Again, he's still got 6 mutas. He started with 7, so only lost 1. It's pretty good. He's trading against some Marines now. And Pet controlling this very well. Pulling back now and getting a little bit of damage done. Again, 1-1 on the way and almost completed here for Complain. His army a little bit late, so that will delay the 2-2 a little. And that means if Pet doesn't skip a beat on his upgrades, he will start to catch up as time goes on. A nice little snipe there once again. He even kills off the turret. And again, just finding opportunities to do little things with these Mutalisks and already opening up a bit of a resources lost lead. And again, that's the kind of things you want to be doing with this 2-base Mutalisk. You want to keep keeping your Terran player running around his base, scouting, turning around these Mutalisks, picking off a couple of SCVs here and there. While you get set up into your own upgrades and your own macro game back at home, the last thing you want to do is let the Terran player come straight towards you before you're actually ready to fight. As Complain is looking to get ready to do right now, but I mean, again, he's already bought a fair amount of time. 1-1's been finished for some time and Complain's on the other side of the map. Another nice SCV pick off there, and these mutants find a way to do a little bit more damage once again. So this Marine coming back to the middle of the map. And we'll take this watchtower, but not for long, as these mutants breed up with that and get rid of it. Get rid of that marine very quickly. Now we have 4 medevacs going in towards this third base here, and Sporkroll here will start to do some damage, but there's a lot of units getting dropped off, and this is going to force Pet to turn around very quickly. The Sporkroller goes down. Drones have been pulled away already, 5 of them killed, but Banelings are pretty well positioned here to come in pretty quickly and deal with this. There's a couple of mine hits starting to go off. The next mine's going to be pretty big, but the mutants coming in here as well, and will be forcing this to turn away. No medevacs lost though, and a nice little fight there from Complain. Lost a few units, but did pick off a few drones as well. And again, now he's starting to turn this aggression on its head, and he's starting to be the aggressor in this game. It's 2-2 now on the way as well. +1/+1, about to finish up for our Zerg player, so he should try and get into that 2-2 as soon as possible, but he's actually not got the gas for it. And without that gas to go into 2-2, again, he's going to continue to fall behind in upgrades, which is going to give our Terran player Complain a little bit longer to try and abuse his upgrade advantages. He's going to go for a Doom Drop again. I don't really think he needs to. A couple of medevacs in this natural while pushing the creep with the rest of his army could be very effective. And I mean, this is risky because he's about to fly straight into the Mutalisks and backs off and does unload. But it looks as though this position here is going to be a hot spot for Complain's army during this game, as these Mutalisks are going to come off the edge of this creep a little bit, and the Queen going to push this creep forward as Drop's going back in towards this natural expansion and dropping in here straight away. The Queen's going to go down pretty quickly, but a huge counterattack coming in here for Pet as 4, which has just come out, going to go down very quick, and well, Banelings are streaming in towards this third base mineral line as some units coming in from behind. Now this is going to be a bit interesting because Pet is going to lose his natural expansion. And he's actually, now Complain's actually going to come all the way back home, I think. Or is he just going to keep attacking? He's just going to keep attacking, going towards the main. No, now he's coming back. I'm not sure what he wants to do here, but he's using a lot of his SCVs. And Pet going to blow up a lot with some Banelings there. So a lot of damage being done on either side of the map right here, as Pet does have these extra bases up, but he's about to lose his Spire, and before +2 fly attacks finishes as well, it's 10 seconds away. That's not going to get the chance to finish up here, I don't think, and this Spire will go down. At the same time, this Drop trying to clean up units at the third base, and it looks as though Pet, everything in his opponent's main and natural has been cleaned out. A couple of Lings still working away on some SCVs in the back. Both players down to 26/20 SCVs, but I think it's going to be Pet in a little bit of a worse position because he's going to lose his upgrades. He's probably going to lose his lair, and he's already lost his Spire. I don't know where his Bane Nest is. That might have already gone as well. He's actually trying to rebuild another one, so it is. And he's going to have to build another Bane Nest, but he's got the spawning pool at least. I think Pet's probably lost. I've just looked at the supplies, and all of a sudden Complain's 100 supply up. And these drops for Complain did plenty here, as Pet is going to run into the Marines with these last few Mutalisks, and Complain is going to take a very important map here for Cascade. GG is called, and Pet taps out of game 3 to give Cascade the lead once again in this series. And are we watching the start of an upset here as Cascade go to... It's Complain. So, Complain up here in the upper left hand corner, making things happen, taking down Pet in game number 1. In game number 3, in his first game. Up now against the reigning world champion, StarTale Life, the blue Zerg player, here in the lower left-hand corner. Played in Pro League today as well. Took down Terror. Held off an early pool. Went from there. Again, this is Life here in this bottom left-hand corner of the map. You guys know who he is. This is the guy everyone wants to see, right? This is who you all turned up to see play. Don't lie to me. I know what's happened. What's up? I know what you guys want. So again, hope these are the games. I hope these games are good. Basically, is my only way of saying it. Again, these guys played before this season. Cascade versus StarTale happened, and Complain did play Live, and Live did win the match. It was on Nimbus, and it was a Baneling bust. Complain building up this barracks right now. Command Center building some SCVs. And it's going to be once again a gas expand here out of our Terran player. Life just pops down the hatchery first. No real worries about this at all. And a couple more drones being made right now from our StarTale player. Extractor comes down here from Life as well. It's going to be playing with a fairly fast gas. No spawning pool just yet. So he's going to get this pool at such a time so that when that gas is mined 100, he's going to start his Zergling speed straight away. And again, that gives him a few aggressive possibilities here. Could again decide to go for some kind of all-in if he would like to. And again, I think all-ins work very well against Complain's build because he's just so greedy, especially if he's going to once again go for 3 command centers before gas. And at this rate, it looks as though he very well might be. I'm sure Life will have seen or figured out. I'm sure this is the finals. I'm sure StarTale will take this will take it fairly seriously. They've played in this league for 3 months. They didn't play in 3 months just to fail. So I'm sure they will have said, look, he went 3 command centers but no gas last game. If he does the same again, just kill him early. Just all in him before he gets any kind of economy really going for himself. Marines on the way out here from this bunker. From this barracks. Wow, I just can't say anything right today. One of those days. Falling's on the way for Life, and again that Zergling speed has begun. He's pulled out of gas though, so only going to get this first, only going to mine that first 100 for the Zergling speed and nothing else. And of course does have the opportunity to go back into there if he would decide that he needed the gas to do whatever with. As first of all, Zergling's going to sit on this ramp and begin to move out across the map and see what they can get up to. So Zerglings moving up to the top left here. Thank you very much, Foster, for hitting that subscribe button. Much love. I'll update the subscriber thing in the next break. As Life is going to go for an all-in then. He's gone back into mining gas. And a Baneling nest is coming down for him, so more Zerglings on the way. And Complain setting up his first bunker right now. What did he actually go for here then? It wasn't 3 command centers without gas, was it? Oh, okay, it was. So he went 3cc. He went gas as 3cc once again, and I mean, you would generally just expect this to mean that he's probably already lost this game, because this Baneling bus is probably going to do a little bit more than he can handle, and it's kind of a shame because this is exactly how Complain lost to Life when they met in the group stages. And something similar could be happening now. As Zergling speed kicks in, Complain going to see this, loses the SCV, and now the rest of the links will come across the map here, and he's going to get ready to start morphing in these Banelings. He's got the money for about 5 or 6 right now. He's got money for 6. Well, he's got the gas for 6, not quite the minerals. He comes to the front and you'll see, well, there's just nothing here. There's going to be a field day for those Banelings and Zerglings. It's going to be a long time before Hellions, or the first 2 Hellions are out, and Life's actually just going to run in here. Who needs Banelings when you can just attack a bunker? I'll run by into the main base. Depots go up, but Life just going to morph the Banelings on the ramp. Why not? If you can, just do it. And, well, now we're going to see Life just bust into the main base, and I don't imagine this lasts very long. Surprised he didn't actually just bust this, make some Banelings to bust down that bunker. If he could get rid of that, then his reinforcements could come in unharmed. A lot of depots going down, a lot of SCVs getting blown up as well. And Life breaks through here without any issues at all. There's a couple of Banelings left over. This Hellion's going to get chased. And the second factory was on the way for Complain, but that's not really going to come to fruition in this game. As these Banelings looking for some SCVs to kill. As the rest of the Zerglings stream on through here. And again, there's just going to be no way that Complain can make this happen. And Life is going to make this first game look pretty easy here. As a couple of Banelings do go off. And double that worker killed count from 8 to 16 and continuing to increase to 18 now. Another Hellion pops out and Life still chasing around with Zerglings. And even if Complain does hold on, he's still going to lose so much in this game. I mean, he can kind of hold on at the front because he's got a bunker, but Life making some bailing is just going to get ready to bust through this without much of an issue at all. And once that bunker's dead, there's pretty much nothing for Complain to really rely on anymore. As one of these factories being forced to lift already. Here come the Balians crashing in towards this bunker. It's going to go down, and Life is going to stream on through with the rest of these Zerglings. SCV's being pulled to try and block, but the Lings come down from the main base as well. Coming in from behind, another Hellion falls. The Lings coming from the right side, going to keep chasing these Hellions. SCV's continuing to just die. GG is called, and Life evens up the series 2 games apiece between StarTale and Cascade here in the ground. Takes us into... well, takes their team onto match point. Which is, of course, good stuff. Means you get 2 opportunities at the last player of the other team. Can my Red Protoss play in the lower right-hand corner of the map? From Cascade, the Red Protoss player, Adominus. Can he do it? Can he take us? Can he take Cascade to match point? In the upper left-hand corner, the blue Zerg player from StarTale. It's Life. Can he take his team to match point? Again, StarTale, the heavy favourites coming into this, without a shadow of a doubt. They are by far the heavy favourites coming into this. They were the heavy favourites coming into the entire league. The only team that probably would have been able to stop them, a lot of people thought, would be Mind Sanity. Of course, Mind Sanity fell in the round of 8. Cascade coming the closest to beating them in the group stage with a 4-3 scoreline. Of course, they did lose a couple of matches where they did forfeit either a single map or the entire match. But yeah, so guys, welcome to the stream. I know we're going to be getting going here into game number 5 very soon. I mean, not really too much happening just yet. Life going to be opening with a hatchery first, so no fear here. As Adominus opens up with a gateway expand. Adominus is a player who likes to do a lot of weird, different little things, and last time, these guys played as well. Last time they played in the group stage, it was on Catalina, and Life cheesed him out with kind of a quick speedling attack and just massed Lings. Adominus, we've seen him a lot, and on this map as well, especially against Zerg players, and he really does like to go up to the 3 bases and on a bunch of gateways and just attack with kind of mass blink Stalker and a handful of sentries. So let's see what he wants to try and do here against Life. He's already walling off, and you can see I think he's preparing just in case Life is going to be like kind of crazy aggressive against him. And well, let's see what happens as the Cybernetics core comes down for Adominus. 3 hatch before pool is going to be the play from Life. Well then, he's just going to play this out super greedily. He's not going to waste any time at all. He is just going to play this out with super greed. He doesn't care. His overlord here is going to see that's a gateway expand. You'll see that there's a Zealot about to finish up. You see the Cybercore about to finish up as well. And a Zealot will block off the ramp. And what is Adominus' plan here? What does he decide to try and do? Life, no gas for now. Just going to be playing gasless to open up with. And Adominus is going to drop down his Nexus then. So he is going to drop the Nexus. Now one of the main things we've got to watch for here is when is he going to take this second gas. The second gas is going to be very important for him to be able to tech further. If he doesn't take that, then we could very well see something aggressive coming out of him, as he hasn't decided to scout at all. So if he was to go for something very aggressive, it'd be completely blind. He doesn't know this is 3 hatch before pool. So whatever he does isn't a reaction. Whatever he does is just a complete, I'm doing this blind, and whatever you've done, I'm just going to try and win with it. So, will it work out as this Overlord moving around? Going to move over, away from this natural expansion now. As Probe actually moving out here for Adominus towards the 3rd base, and he's going to just drop a 3rd base. Really? No, he's got a lot of money though. He's just adding on gateways. He has on 2 gateways. On the high ground as well. Interesting enough, is he really still scared of what Life might be doing? I mean, if he's really going to be this scared, maybe he should have gone and scouted earlier in the game, because then he could have maybe seen that his opponent's playing 3 hatch before pool. He does add on 4 gateways, and that means he's actually going to go all in, and as we said, he didn't take that gas. So he is just going to go all in, 5 gates, no messing around, and Life, well, all he really sees is 1 gate at the front here, and he hasn't got anything right now. He's got a couple of gas geysers on the way, a couple of extractors coming in, a probe coming up for Adominus to the right hand side though, and this does not look good for Life at all, as Adominus is looking like he's just going to completely roll over Life. What can Life do? Life has absolutely no idea this is coming towards him. He hasn't got a single idea. He sees these 2 gates. That's all he sees. He can't get through into the main base. He can't see these extra gateways. And immediately he sees the mothership core now coming forward. He's just started 10 drones though, as 3 zealots start to warp in already. And Life, he needs a Rotron, he needs roaches. And he's got the gas, so he can at least make roaches. But he still just doesn't know about it. He's making more zerglings. He still just doesn't know this attack is going to be coming in. He starts zergling speed as well. And Queen going to try and chase away this, as these zerglings are actually going to spot the rest of these zealots now in Life. He's going to have to realize here he's in a little bit of trouble, and I think this 3rd base might just have to be forfeit, which isn't the end of the world. Because again, I mean, you know, Adonis doesn't really have that much in terms of in terms of tech back at home. These lings are going to try and run by and maybe try and pick off a pylon or 2. And that's exactly what they're going to try and do. Get onto that pylon straight away here. Going to leave the drones mining as some zealots turn around to try and clean up these zerglings. 1 pylon gets taken down, and these zerglings starting to get surrounded actually. A lot of lings coming in. Another wave of 5 zealots starting to come forward here. The Rotron halfway done. Life has started up a spine crawler as well. But can he hold on? Has he got enough time here to get some roaches out? He's got a lot of money. So if he could just get to that point where he has the Rotron finished, he can make a lot of roaches. He's got a lot of supply forward as well. He sees this other pylon, so he knows where that is. He will lose his 3rd base, but I think that's the least of his troubles right now. 6 roaches on the way, 3 more lava, so he could keep making some more. Now there's 7 roaches on the way in production, and these lings are going to try and come in from behind and maybe try and pick off that pylon, or maybe they're just going to try and come in and defend everything at the same time here. 10 roaches on the way. The spine crawler is about to go down. He starts a lair during all of this. Is he really this confident? As more zealots continue to stream in here, as the roaches pop out. Is it going to be enough? Because there's so many zealots. The drones are being pulled as well to fight. Is it going to be enough, though? The roaches doing as much as they can. Zerglings from behind have zergling speed. They clean up the zealots from behind. The roaches going to start stir-stepping. 9 workers killed in the last few seconds here, as the zealots are starting to wither in numbers. A time warp being used. Zerglings with the surround, though, and queens, and more roaches coming down. A couple of stalkers being added in here now as well, as there's still these roaches in the mineral line, and the zealots are going. The zealots are pretty much gone. The drones pulled one more time here, but 18 workers killed. But is it enough? I don't know if it will be, because again, Adonis doesn't have tech behind us. He's still on 1 gas, and he loses absolutely everything. Life holds on. What are we watching? What a hold by StarTale Life, as Adonis tries to warp in some more units. The time up comes down. Maybe Life overextending a little bit here. Needs to get some more zerglings out, and he has got them on the way. Needs to get them in front, keep these roaches alive, and there we go. The zerglings wrapping around these zealots. The roaches are going to take down every single zealot here, and a queen even coming forward to join in on the fun. The zealots will go down, the queen will go down, and from there, there's not going to be anything left. The warpins are going to get caught while warping in, and that means that's that. You know, they're not going to do anything here. They get killed off. The pylons will go down. The mothership core still trying to pick off this 3rd base. The 3rd base wasn't even killed by Adominus. And is Life even going to save the 3rd base here? Adominus finally taking a 2nd gas back at home, taking a robot facility as well. But how do you transition out of this? I mean, he killed a lot of workers, yes, but it was very all in, and he did a lot of damage. But Life has a lair up now. He's going to be able to re-drone very quickly. Another pylon will go down, and Adominus is not able to make this happen, as roaches and lings now will start to move across the map for counterattack. Some stalkers being warped in here. This lack of gas from Adonis for so long will hurt him. He'll really struggle to get kind of any amount of decent tech-worthy units out, as there's a robot facility about to finish. I imagine he's just going to try and get an immortal out straight away and go into some kind of 2-base all-in again. Go into an immortal sentry or something along those lines. I don't know. I mean, I guess he could try to take a 3rd base, but it would not be easy, as these zerglings moving forward, moving back once again, and the mothership core overhead here going to force these zerglings to turn away. But we're on the way for Life, which I do like, because you know, here Adominus is actually going to, you know, whatever Adominus does, you know, if he does anything other than a robo facility, Burrow's going to work great to hold off a 2-base all-in. If he does get a robo, it's more likely than anything to be an immortal all-in. He's going to be so preoccupied building immortals and warp prisms that he's probably not going to build an observer, at least not straight away. So there's still the potential for that Burrow to work. As Life moving around here with a couple of roaches, trying to see where he can get to. And he's coming around. Well, he looked as though he was coming around the right hand side, but in the end doesn't. Hallucinate Phoenix coming in for Adominus, and we'll scout around here. And does he see this Burrow upgrading? Well, he might very well see that hatchery kind of vibrating a little bit there, and working away, but depends how much attention he's paying, really. As Queen takes down that hallucinated Phoenix. So, more zealots being warped in. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water there. The hype from earlier is getting to my voice. As Zerglings burrow all over the place here, and immediately Life, I think he sees that. Or did Adominus see him burrowing? I'm not too sure. Either way, we've got an Observer queued up, and I think Adonis may very well be waiting for the Observer, because I think he might have seen that Zergling burrowing, and since Life's game is up, he knows, well, Adonis knows what's happening. Life actually making units here, getting aggressive. He needs to be careful. He will see with this Zergling in a moment or two, these units moving across. So he sees this army, he sees exactly what he's playing against, he sees absolutely all of it, and he's still got units burrowed here. He's ready to pop up. If he can pop up next to a few of these sentries, he's going to bait it on top of the army. Oh no, the bait from Life as he pops up behind the sentries. Force fields come down, but hey, they're not going to be too great. And, well, Adonis is going to desperately try and pull some units away. It's actually not gone that well for Life, actually, as he's actually going to lose quite a lot of these roaches here initially. Well, that didn't work out too well. The two force fields that did come up there for Adonis were actually really good in the end, and blocked a lot of them roaches from doing anything. So Adonis takes kind of first win here, as 4 roaches will come up this ramp and start kill off these pylons. Thought an overcharge used to clean these up though, and this army continues across the map here. Life, does he have enough to take this on? He's going to immediately commit here and move forward straight away. A sentry is already going to go down before he can use his force field. It doesn't actually go down now, it does. Guardian Shield is popped. War Prism warping in some more Stalkers here. More Lings, more Roaches on the way for Life, as a couple more Roaches get cleaned out. More some of these Roaches for Life backing off, and Zealot getting cleaned up, Stalkers getting cleaned up as well at the front. Is there going to be enough Roaches here? He takes down another sentry. Zealot getting cleaned at the front too, as these Immortals in the back. Are they going to be able to bring the firepower that is needed here for this Protoss player to move into match point, or is Life going to make another hold in this game? Well, he's going to start closing the distance on the Immortals, but the Roach numbers are beginning to drop a little bit. More Roaches on the way in production, though I get the feeling it might just be a little bit too much. Nice pickups by Adonis to keep his Roaches alive, but it's not enough. And Life will clean this up. He's going to kill off everything. And, I mean, again, he's the micro coming in on the Immortals, but is it going to be enough to win the game? Well, honestly, probably not. As he still picks up, he drops, he picks up. And Adonis is going to try and drop or do something here to try and keep himself in this game. And Life looks as though he's going to take StarTale into the lead of the series for the first time. Of course, Cascade's always been the leading team. StarTale have always been playing from behind, trying to catch up. And Life might very well put this team into the lead here as Zerglings come in, and we're going to see these Immortals taking a little bit more damage. And this Immortal's now going to drop to the low ground. They pick off a drone, but I mean, he has to pick off a few more drones than just one if he really wants to make a comeback happen in this game. He is 60 supply down right now. Another Roach now getting picked off there as well. The Immortals just getting picked up, getting saved. I mean, these are his lifeline now. It's the only way he's going to get anything done. But they're both on such low hit points. He needs the shields to recover to do anything he can. And, well, this War Prism heading back home. Roach is sitting here for Life. And an Observer here. Potentially going to move back home here as well, as Adonis is actually just going to try and start up a third base. I mean, the supplies are actually fairly even, but Life is just holding on to a lot of money, so he can start up a bunch of Hydralisks at the same time. And, well, Hydralisks, Groove Spines on the way. Small Lings and more Hydras, and I mean, no surprise that Life just wants to try and close this one out with a pretty simple Ling Roach Hydra push. I mean, he doesn't even really need to think about getting into a hive for Vipers or anything, I don't think. That being said, I mean, there is still a fair few sentries here, and Adonis might be able to hold on. But really, I think I'm being a little bit hopeful here. I mean, the Hydra's just going to rip through everything, right? I mean, there's no real DPS in this army, there's no splash damage. It's pretty much just pure Immortal and some Zealots to tank with some sentries to try and split the army up. So, it's going to be tough for Adonis to kind of hold on at all. As I imagine Life going to try and get something done here in the next few moments. Moving across the map with just his Roaches for now. Or just escorting 3 drones over towards his base. And I imagine he's going to start up his hatchery here and... no, maybe not. Maybe just completely misclicking. Sending them drones over there. Thought it was maybe when there's only 3, thought maybe extractor, hatchery. But perhaps not here. Is Life going to go over to the left-hand side of the map? Adonis is sitting back now. And he is sitting on the third base. As these Zerglings getting turned around by this army once again. A couple of Overseers taking some damage, and here we go, streaming forward as these Hydras, Lings, and Roaches come forward, going to try and do whatever they can. These Roaches coming in from the bottom side. There's no force fields there to stop them from moving, getting in and up close and personal with their Immortals. One Immortal goes down so far. But these Hydras are still an issue as they've got so much GPS behind them, and there's no Zealots really left over. The few Zealots that there are stuck behind the army, and that means that there's nothing really here to tank for Adonis, so his Immortals will take the damage, the Sentries will take the damage, and that's not what he can really afford here as the last few Zealots do go down, and this army all of a sudden for Adonis looking very thin. And looking like there's a bit of a lack of units here. There's a few Hydras still moving forwards. A few changes coming in, trying to block these units from retreating. Front and overcharge coming down as well. But Life is pushing forward. He wants to take his team onto match point here. And again, there's only a few low hit point immortals remaining, as everything is going to start falling. The Zealots go down. The Stalkers go down. The probes are being pulled. It's just not going to be enough here for Dominus. Down on 40 supply. Life on 150. And the last few units fall. Dominus will type GG. And StarTale will move on to match point in Cascade. Surely it is time to send out... Let's just go in game. There's nothing to delay for in the lower right hand corner of the map from Cascade. It is Casce, our Blue Town player. Can he do this? Can he keep Cascade alive in the grand finals of the third season of the SC2 Improved Team League? Cascade, they've already been runners-up in one season of the Team League. They came runners-up in Season 1 where they lost to My Insanity. Before Casce joined the team, they've become a long way since then. They are giving StarTale a run for their money right now. Life, the teal Zerg player in the upper left and upper right hand corner of Catalina. Let's see how this is going to go. Are we going to see a Game 7? How is everyone in the chat doing? Thank you guys to everyone who's been hitting the follow button. One Muxa, Lampy36, Meek, Jew, Swaggle, Lito84, T30 Fist, Heartthrob5, Ratiator, ZNJ, Strifessel, Zang, Lighthorse, Z Shortbuzz. I can't keep up because my emails keep updating. Reaper Expand coming out here for Casce, Cadenza, Etrenus. Thank you very much for hitting the follow button as well. There's some new ones coming in. Furia, Free, Sir Cheddar, Shark, SC2ITL, Turret Boss 1, Ryan, 45658, Sir Failure Laws, Mr. 7 Spook, Jan, Peter MG, Chaffers, Teamco, StarCraft. We got them all in there before the Reaper pops out and the action really begins here. Live taking a gas back at home after his hatchery followed by Pool. And we'll be able to get into that Zerg speed nice and quickly here. He made such an amazing hold against Anonymous in that last game. Anonymous could have maybe overcommitting a bit towards the natural. Life just about able to hold on as Casce moves across the map with his Reaper. Second Reaper coming up here as well. And let's see how this is going to go. Casce, not knowing where his opponent is, going to come to the upper left hand corner first and will not find his opponent here. So we'll now head up to the upper right, which isn't too much of an issue. You'll still be able to have a bit of a pick away at some Zerglings. His own command center coming down right now. And yeah, pretty much as we'd expect. Second Reaper starting to move out on the map. Casce feeling fairly confident putting his first depot on the second depot on the low ground here. And just wants to get walled off at the natural as soon as possible. Probably because he's a little bit scared of how aggressive Life can be with some speedlings early on. And, well, here we go, jumping into the main base. A couple of Reapers coming in here, and we'll actually be able to pick off it. Oh, no, they won't. Life turning around with that drone straight away there, and he will lose one drone now. Second drone about to be under fire as well. Okay, the Reapers don't stop because of risk of losing one of them to these Zerglings, and just wants to escape to make sure he gets away from the Queen there. And whoa, 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 whoa. Nearly a bit of a mistake there. 4 hits left on that Reaper, 1 hit away from death. So, you know, Casce getting away a little bit fortunately there. There's a couple of command centers now, both on the way in the production tabs. The third CC coming up, as we would expect. Casce getting walled up on his main ramp, and we'll be able to go into some Hellions here very shortly, as he has actually gone into 3 Reapers. So played a very aggressive opening then, Casce, and going to look to really try and contain his opponent here in this game. And you know, again, with 3 Reapers, it's very hard to break out. They're going to be coming in shortly though, and a few more things being made to be able to deal with this threat, so that he doesn't lose any queens or take too much damage on them. And well, let's see what will happen here. These Reapers still just sitting around. A couple of gases being taken on the natural. So going up to 3 gases now. 4 gases on 2 bases. And for another time today, a StarTale Zerg is going to go for 2 base meter. These guys just seem to love this. Now the thing is, Casce spots this really, really early on. And he should be able to respond to this however he sees fit. He's actually gone for a starport here though. So, I mean, I think originally the starport's going to be to attempt to go into a Banshee. The Reapers do die. I think he wants to go into a Banshee with this, and almost definitely now we see the tech lab there. But I mean, is it worthwhile continuing to go for it? If your opponent's going to go 2 base meter, will he really be able to do enough damage? I think it's just going to be a cloakless Banshee. Maybe Casce will, well, I think he's going to still go for it, otherwise he'd be landing this barracks here and starting up Stimpack. This starport going to land right now, and Banshee going to be on the way here very shortly then, as Casce just going to go for the cloakless Banshee, try and get a little bit of damage done, maybe keep it as a little bit of a safety factor, as 4 Hellions are still sitting on this natural, ready to move out when he feels safe enough to do so. Spire starts up here then for life, and that's a spine crawl coming down the front. That's not the Spire. There's a Spire in the main base. So again, 2 base muta. It's all the rage right now in the StarTale house apparently. And yeah, this is indeed live. Hurting for squirting. It is 5 AM in the StarTale house. Cascade actually asked the match to be moved back an hour, because of the power outage or the electricity going off in Ukraine. And StarTale were kind enough to agree to move the match back by an hour. So thank you very much to them for staying up so late to play. As these units for Casce moving across the map, these Hellions moving across here, going to look to see what they can maybe get up to. As they're going to start moving in towards this natural expansion right now. A couple of shots going off, and whoa! Okay, he loses 1 Hellion, and a few Zerglings going to go down. In fact, a lot more Zerglings going down right now. 4 Hellions remain here. Life starting to pull his drones away. Queen's coming down from the main base to help out here as well. Only 4 Zerglings dead so far. These Queens don't really have enough DPS on them though, as Life isn't making anything. He wants to save his, he wants to save his lava for Mutalisks, and again, for the second time today, we're seeing one of the Cascade players roasting the mineral lines of the StarTale Zerg. Before it was StarTale Cascade Strelok taking down Curious's drones. Now it is Casce taking down Life's, and he's going to keep on getting more. 19 drones killed. Finally going to clean up these Hellions. 21 workers killed in total. There's a Banshee in the main base now as well. Thankfully, the Mutas and the Queens will be more than enough to deal with these. Muta's going to turn around. A couple of these will chase down this Banshee. Oh, Life's not paying attention. He lets it move away. Oh no, so he's lost 22 workers here. Casce takes a 9 worker advantage. And this is not how it's meant to be for Life. He does have a 3rd base up now. No upgrades for him just yet. Upgrades beginning here for Casce. He goes into Stimpack as well. And Stimpack on the way. A couple more reactors finishing up as well. A factory starting up a reactor and a starport already making medevacs. As this Banshee has now just about to be cleaned up by Life. So he'll be able to clean out that Banshee at least. But again, so many drones lost here initially, and he will be playing from a little bit behind in this game. And coming to southwards now, Life going to look to try and move back to the middle of the map, see what he can get up to. As he's just moving around with a couple of overlords, not really too much else. So it's going to be up to these mutas then to get some damage done. Casce with turret placed here. I mean, this right hand side is a little bit open to damage. Same with this kind of area of this of the main base mineral line. There's a lot of mines around, and Life going to notice that one a little bit too late. And taking a little bit of damage there, and we'll just have to fly out. I don't think you can really do anything here. Plenty turrets up for Casce, plenty mines just around. As okay, he just find an opening. He does find a way into this kind of right hand side of this natural, which is quite interesting. That's the kind of place we spotted. I pointed out before. As first medevac about to go down there maybe. As Stimpack coming in now, and these mutas are going to have to escape. Where they're going to go though? Into the main. They're going to turn around and they're going to lose. Oh no! The micro from Life pulling one of them hurt Mutalisks back. He will kill off a lot of these marines, and now can move into this mineral line and keep doing damage. So hey, you kill my workers with Hellions, I'm going to kill yours with mutas. And Life is still got to be a little bit careful. He will have the dead airspace to fly into, and should be able to escape up this side. But he will run into a mine on his way out, and that's going to be another Mutalisk dead. And he will escape though. So he gets out of there. Some workers killed. He now does take a 15 worker advantage in the game after killing off 10 SCVs there. His own 1-1 upgrades on the way as Casses are about to finish up his armory on the way, so 2-2 can start. Baneland speed on the way for Life, +1 flyer attacks coming in too. Of course, he's on 3 bases. As Casce trying to get his own 3rd command center up and running now. As this mine, Life just going to stay out of range of it. Picks off 3 more SCVs here. Even going to maybe kill off one of these barracks, and he gets it. And little things like this, you know, that's 150, 300 minerals now wasted. Really playing with fire, flying that close to the mine. But hey, he's staying alive. And these Mutalisks are going to head away across to the other side of the map once again here. And head all the way back home. And just wait a little while. Macro hatchery starting up here for Life. The 3rd base lands for Casce. I like the fact he didn't rush to take this. He's been, you know, flying around he's been chasing around these Mutalisks which have been flying around his base. No need to overextend yourself. As a few more Marines maybe going down here. No, they're just going to force the Mutalisks away. Of course, this is the point of the 2-base Mutalisk play, to keep your opponent from taking that 3rd base so early. As these Mutas are going to fight these Marines. 1 Muta goes down, but a few Marines cleaned up. Needs to be a little bit careful if he wants to try and take another. I think a 2nd Muta did get killed off there. And Life just moving back now. He's got Lings, he's got Banelings up and ready. As Casce is beginning to move forward here. I don't think you can attack and kill combat shields is finished though. He was a little bit late in starting that. A little bit distracted perhaps by the Mutalisks which were flying around his main base. And, well, Cascade's Casce moving forward here. These 2 creep tumors going to get cleaned out pretty quickly. There's some more Banelings start up here for Life, and Casce is going to set a few mines up. Get ready to move forward here, and the mines going to take down a fair few Banelings to begin with. And all of the mines being used up there, as Life is probably going to go for round number 2 here in a moment before the mines come back off of cooldown. So they're going to spread out over this direction, so they're going to come in from all different angles now. Life going to try and go for fight number 2, and the Marines all clumped up, and a hot pick up there by Casce. Just saving him a few more Marines than he maybe should have. But he'll lose all of his mines. He's actually going to drop these Marines out because the Medivacs are going to get chased down by the Mutalisks. If not, he's going to lose all of these here. The Medivacs maybe needing to boost away now, but he doesn't have boost ready for them just yet. And all 4 Medivacs are going to go down. Casce has taken a heavy hit here. He's stimming forward to try and get into position to deal with this attack coming in towards his third base. Now he's going to have to burrow a mine. And is he going to be able to have enough to clean up here? I think he should just about be able to hold on. As this mine has not actually gone off or anything. Or if it has, I didn't actually see what it went off on. Bunker killed off here. And Life takes a pretty significant lead now. 40 supply advantage. Casce about to get +2 attack though, so he'll be ahead in one way. 20 workers down. Third base trying to secure that right now. And he just didn't quite split in time there. And the lack of a split really did hurt him. You know, if you just split even a little bit, things could be so different right now. He's lost so many Medivacs throughout this game. He doesn't have enough, he can't actually afford to stim after these mutas right now because he doesn't have enough Medivacs to heal these Marines up. He's not even making Medivacs at this point in time, and I don't really know why. He's got so much gas, he can definitely afford to. And he really does need to get a few more of these out and about on the map, just to keep his army healed up and to keep it healthy. Casce going to keep on maxing up on Marines here. There's some Medivacs finally starting up in production. Again, 2-2 for Life is on the way. It's going to finish about the time +2 armor finishes for our Zerg player. A couple of changelings maybe going off there. Just moving forward into this base. Life going to go for the attack, and well, Casce just going to have to stim. He is going to split away, and the splits are pretty going good from him. And a couple of mines moving forward, but they're going to get picked off before they burrow. So the mines going down here. Mutas left over. More Baners coming in though, and Casce is going to struggle to hold on to this. And this could be Life moving in for the victory here in the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3 Grand Finals. StarTale are the champions. Life takes the victory here in game number 6. And he closes out the series 4 games to 2 for StarTale. And Casce